That down. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all doing good tonight. It is 6:30, and we are going to call tonight's meeting to order to
Good evening,
for
everybody. Hope
the
you're all doing good tonight.
let me get that for this month's Anime Twin Cities board meeting. Um, so right now, first thing we're gonna go over is to recap the off-cycle votes. Right now, the only two things that we really did anything on since the last meeting was the bylaws, which were kind of stuck in a holding pattern. We'll go over that later. And we did have a couple of interviews for two of our coordinator positions. Unfortunately, we're still having some discussions about that. Haven't quite come to a decision yet. So we are going to be getting those finished here in the next couple of days, and we will be making our announcements um, in the next week or two. Um, it's a little bit real quick there. Just as a reminder, these meetings are counted for attendance for the voting rights each year. So do make sure to contact our secretary, Christina. You can either email her at christina.kramer@animetwincities.org or at secretary at animetwincities.org. Um, Please message her to let her know your username, and then please comment in the chat so she can know that you're here to count you in attendance. Um, Next thing on the list is the open session. We reserve the first 30 minutes or so. If anybody in the audience has any questions or anybody has anything they want to bring up that's not on the agenda. Give it a little bit just to make sure that everybody gets a chance to wait for the delay. Okay, so just make sure to get those. Thank you for getting those posted. All right, since looks like nobody has any questions or anything, roll on. Looks like we don't have anything from any partners. And I don't believe we've gotten any equipment rentals, so we can just roll on to our coordinator updates. Let's start out with Troy. Anime Detour. What do we got, sir?
Um, Still not a lot as we've just started the cycle. We held our first um, official staff meeting last month, as well as a department head meeting. Um, we are starting to look at. We're going to have a conversation with the hotel to see what information they can provide to us now as to, or if they can, as to what things might potentially look at in April as far as additional safety precautions, et cetera, that would come from their end. Um, we have not yet opened registration. Um, our feeling is, while in years past we may have opened registration right around this time or a few days earlier, um, to open registration without having clear answers and information for the public about what Enemy Detour 2021 would look like in terms of additional safety precautions. The optics on that are a bit poor. As soon as you open registration, those questions are going to happen. So we would rather have something prepared as to all aspects. And frankly, it's a bit of a catch-22 right now, as it's very hard for us to intelligently speak to that this far out from our convention. But we'll do the best that we can. Also, we want to make sure that it's known that we are prioritizing safety, et cetera, is our top 100 priorities versus a rush to get reg open and start asking people to spend money in these weird times. So that is essentially why reg is not open, where normally I think it would have opened. Latest it may have opened was about a week ago last year. So we are working on that. We will be announcing some changeover in some positions. We've had a few department heads that will be stepping back. So we will be looking to open those and fill those in a timely manner. I won't say as soon as possible. We want to make sure that they're open. They might be open a little shorter than usual. It might not be a month. It might be 3 weeks. We'd like to be able to complete interviews and decide if we have a candidate to move forward with in these departments, so that if they are unfamiliar or have any questions about the budget process, that the vice chairs and leadership can help them with that, versus someone getting the position and 2 weeks later needing to complete a budget. So not a lot more than that. A lot of the things we're working on. Are we going over goals tonight?
I had not seen any goals emailed, and they are not.
So well, if we're not going over it, are we going over it next month?
Because
I think we were.
Yeah, I know, and I'm assuming we had a discussion on it. Slipped. I will set a reminder right now.
Oh, no, that's fine. Then I will speak to the things that I was going to speak to in the goals portion.
Okay, please go ahead. We can.
Now, it's not much. We're continuing to work toward look at making staff intake. I'd always wanted an online element to that in pre-COVID times, to make it easier for people to join staff. It can be a little daunting to drive to a building you don't know, enter a room full of people you don't know, and that sort of thing. So that initial communication coming from the safety of their living room, COVID has forced us to take a closer look at that, like a few other things. So we will be working with Drew is looking at the website, and essentially wants for some legitimate reasons, and then probably some aesthetic, there needs to be a pretty significant remodel, at least behind the scenes, on how some things work. And then we'll see about the forward-facing aspects of it. We're continuing to actively looking at and editing the existing staff handbook. Some of you might not have known it existed, which is an additional source of the problem. Is want to make sure that we have a finalized version and make sure that is distributed and also made available to everybody online. And then that would be something that we would have staff. We'll have to look at how that plays into the other things that you have to sign for, the ability to work here, et cetera. But my thought that those things should be done annually, that it should be an annual acknowledgement that this is you have received the handbook, it has been put into your possession. and that these are sort of the expectation rules, code of conduct, whatever it might be, and we'll just renew that every year versus sort of a one-time signing. It can make things difficult should you have the unfortunate situation of having to have somebody on perhaps like a personal action plan or something like that, or if you do have to take disciplinary action against somebody, if they have not had the information or they received it 5 years ago, that sort of thing. But we will make sure that once that is finalized, we'll get it. I think I'd like to get it to the board for peer review. And then once we're certain we have the finalized version, we'll make sure that it's in an easily accessible online location and that staff are emailed and et cetera about that. And we'll look at getting that signed. I think, I think that's we're continuing to look at new methods for recruiting staff, which is something that we've been continuing to look at for a few years. Again, COVID has sort of helped force that to some deeper online things, which is good. And yeah, I think that's about it. Like I said, it's still a little bit of a housekeeping and procedural and documentation things. As we just held that first meeting, so that's about where we're sitting at here. That's it.
Okay.
Unless anybody has any questions.
Nope, just taking a note real quick. Right, I don't have anything. Nobody on the board saying much. I don't see anything in the chat either. So we can continue on. Charities is the next. I know Michelle has been overseeing most of the charities duties as for right now. I haven't heard any updates for hers. Nothing incoming, so I can assume that there's nothing new on that front. Communities. Kim, do we have any updates from Eric at all? As the current person in that position?
She's muted, looks like.
We cannot hear you.
Kim, you're muted. We didn't hear that.
Yes. Says you're not.
I think it says she doesn't have a...
Did your microphone come unplugged?
Well, you could type in
if you want to
chat.
If you want to message us in Slack real quick, I can relay the message. We can do the troubleshooting here in a little bit. We'll round back to it when we get to finance. So we'll roll on to communications. There hasn't been much going on there the last couple of weeks. We've just kind of been staying the course, trying to find the ways to improve, get our stuff out there more. That was one of the two positions, along with communities, that we did do the interviews for. Like I said, we're still having a discussion about those, and we will be announcing our decisions on that here in the next week or so. That's really about it. Hasn't been too much of a change since the last meeting. Next on the list is SOS. Heather, that is you.
Hello. So we did our attempt at the online version of the cosplay picnic, which went pretty well. We had a bigger turnout for that than we've had for most of our online events, which, I mean, of course, is still smaller than we'd be getting if we were in person, but it's still, but it was a pretty solid turnout for that. We learned some stuff about what kinds of activities do and don't work in that scenario. So I'm just scanning through my notes here also. Stuff did seem to go really well with doing a scheduled hour per activity in different spaces on the Discord. So we're looking at setting up maybe a couple more multi activity scheduled event things like that going forward. Which next up, we're hoping to do some kind of gaming event along those lines, where we would have scheduled hours for different activities and do video game streaming, and and there's always Jackbox, and do some sort of tabletop simulator and stuff like that. So different activities at different times for different people. We're going to be doing some testing kind of events. We discovered Tabletopia, which actually allows you to have just one paid user and invite guests to play board games for free without having to install anything or pay anything or download anything or join anything.
Oh, I
So
like that.
so that's super promising, because that's been a major barrier. Is as soon as you ask people to pay anything, even if it's cheap, it's a barrier. So that could be exactly what we're looking for. We're doing a trial sort of session event with that on Thursday evening. If anybody would like to try playing some board games online.
That's this Thursday evening?
Yep. We've got an event up for that. If anybody would like to jump in,
Yes,
and we'll see
definitely.
how that goes. And a couple of my other people on my team have some demo / practice sort of sessions in the works for different kinds of platforms, so we can put a gaming event together, having actually practiced and figured out what works with all of this stuff. So aside from that, we are still doing the regular social hours. Basically, we've got somebody from our team per week, and then they pick a day and time that works for them. Having just open chat time available for people has been really great. We've been getting good turnout every time we've done that. People just like to join together and just have a conversation. It's real easy for us too. We don't have to organize or anything. We just have to keep an eye on stuff and make sure that there isn't anything unpleasant going on, or anything that we need to reel in. So we do those weekly, but doing all of this stuff, we are still meeting every other week just to check in briefly on what's going on and staying on top of it, since we are doing things more often. They are smaller things, but we are getting regular attendance at all of this online stuff. So
That's really good to hear.
let's see. We are also working with John Conegas on helping cross promote the Go Club. They've been doing some hosting of their meetings on the Discord as well. So that's something that I've been meaning to email Eric about, and it keeps spacing it. So I will attempt to remember to do that. Otherwise, Kim, if you would also like to relay that to him, that if there's any other clubs within ATC that could benefit from a place to meet virtually, or the extra promotion, the SOS team is absolutely willing to do whatever we can through our Discord server or through our channels to help promote those things and give those clubs a place to meet. That seems to be working out pretty well for the Go Club so far. So, aside from that, and I'm not sure exactly how this works, because I'm not as familiar with Discord, but we keep circling around trying to find some way to have the event calendar available just for people who are on the Discord to be able to see what's coming up. It sounds like there is a way to share the ATC calendar to the Discord, but in order to do that, permissions would have to be granted to the calendar from one of our accounts. So I don't know if that's something that you guys are open to doing.
I thought the calendar was public to view.
Well, it is, but there's a way to. I think there's some way to integrate it with the Discord.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's not one of those things that's 5-alarm necessary, but
Yeah, we can do
we've been thinking it'd be easier for people to be able to to have it. I don't exactly know how it works, because I'm not as familiar with Discord, but it would be part of the Clubhouse somehow, where there'd be there'd be a link or there'd be a page or something where people could see everything that's coming up for ATC. But in order to do that, we would have to have permissions to the calendar. So I don't know if that's something you guys are open to or not.
I would be perfectly fine with doing that, sharing the calendar, getting it out there.
Okay. Any objections from anyone? Okay, and I will go ahead and look into how that's done. So thanks.
Okay.
I think that's all I've got for now.
I know I do still have on my calendar. I'm gonna tomorrow. I'm gonna sit down. Since we got to get those emails out for the open coordinator positions, which are going to be SOS and charities. My intent was to sit down, work on that tomorrow with anybody who would like to work on that. I don't know if you're available. If you're not, I was still going to forward that to you to get your input on it, based off of the position description you had sent us previously, so that we can get that out to. I do have a list written down this time. All of our social media platforms. Twin City. I got to reach out to the folks at Twin Cities Geeks to see if they would be comfortable with us posting that stuff to through them in such a way. If anybody chat or otherwise has any other suggestions as far as where, because unfortunately I don't live in the city, so I'm not quite as involved with all of the different groups down there. I know names, but I'm not too familiar with the individuals that we could share those to. Please message me, tristan.anderson@animatedtwincities.org, so I can make that list and we can try to get that out there as far and wide as we can.
There's the Convergence community group. There's a Convergence Convergence community is the con only one. I believe what they have is Convergence Connections, which is where they allow promo posts and whatnot. I always have to double check whenever I share anything because it's a little confusing, but
Okay.
it's pretty clear in the info for each group on Facebook which one's which. So there is a group where they allow promos of other stuff. So
Okay.
I tend to cross post SOS to there. It should be okay, I think.
I will message them to make sure where to post that. Just finish writing that
Unfortunately, I
down.
don't think I have time to actively participate in drafting the ad, but I would like to review it or give feedback.
Absolutely. I remember you mentioned you were kind of comfortable with the position description, so we're just gonna base it around that and then make sure you're okay with it. Don't want to send out anything in conflict or that's just plain out wrong.
Do you have any kind of like target date in mind for having it filled, just so that I can?
I was because you were stepping down at the end of this month or next month?
Into September.
End of September, so the end of next month. Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping for some turnover time, so.
Yeah, no. So my hope was to put out the feelers this week, and then close the application process by the next board meeting, have the interviews that week following the board meeting, or somewhere that week of the board meeting, have the discussion that following week, and have make our decision second or third week of September, before the end of September.
The board meeting is the second week of September.
Yes.
So yeah,
I realized that as I said
timeline,
it.
I'm looking at maybe a week and a half.
Yeah,
which is a little short, but it is what it is. So
I do apologize for that. That I did drop the ball this last month on getting that out there.
Troy's giving you the finger.
Again.
I knew I screwed up. What's up, Troy?
So I know that it usually does typically work best environmentally, that we're looking within fandom groups and things like that for these positions. Have we ever given any thought to, or perhaps why not, to post them on sort of external volunteer matching sites? I'm not saying that we'll get any bites.
I mean,
but
I'd be fine with it. I just have I've never done anything with that, so I have no idea where I'd even
Yeah, I
start
mean,
to
you know,
Google that.
there's a few out there. I know at one point with Detour when we started posting stuff externally, um, there was some confusion through Facebook as to whether or not they were paid positions. But obviously, if we're posting them on um, volunteer sites, and you know, I'm on one now, just looking, and it's running the gamut from patient companionship to flag football coaches to children's vision screeners. So again, I can make no guarantee of engagement, but it in theory might
Nice.
widen our net a little bit. But
Yeah, please,
just
if you want to message
That's a
me,
great idea.
I will add that to the list of places and make sure that it is noted that it is a unpaid volunteer position.
Right. That's also a good point as we're doing stuff outside of our own con community, that we need to make sure that that's clear.
thank you.
So, anything else related to SOS?
That is all I had at this point.
Okay. I'll probably end up turning my camera back off since I have a lot of stuff to do for work, so I'll still be listening, but I don't want to be a distraction.
Nope, that is fine. Okay. The next on the list would be finance. Kim, that is back to you.
She posted all of her updates in Slack if you want to just read them, I guess.
Oh, I saw the one. Yeah, because we're still muted. I did not see the. Okay, so it looks like we still can't get anything. So looks like so the bank account balance is $209,850.09. Our education fund is at $2,262.33. The leg fund is at $10,892.01. Looks like we received an online donation of $50 last Thursday from Michael Christ. Thank you very much for that. I did meet up with Kim last week to get added to the bank accounts, so we've got finally got that out of the way. Looks like Heather, she hasn't seen the refund check either at the home of the PO box from the St. Paul Parks yet. Did they give you a time frame on that?
It should have been sent out. Also, just side note while I'm here, because I've also been looking at the YouTube channel. Tristan, your box is not visible on the feed, or if it is, it's very, very small.
Yeah, I'm up on the top right usually with these
Okay.
chat options. The person hosting or the person
there isn't any
sharing your
way to
screen.
make you a square.
Unfortunately, it's just if you look on the top right, you'll see me up there very tiny.
There's a way,
Yeah.
but it's complicated. Maybe next
Oh.
month.
Oh,
That sucks.
yes, that'd be nice. I like to be seen sometimes.
Where did my email go? Mission canceled, payment refund. See, we processed a refund via check. Please allow 4 to 6 weeks, which we're past that now, because that was the 19th of June. Got PO Box 48309. Did I make a mistake? Is that the right number?
I believe so.
She
That's the
thumbs up.
number.
She
Okay,
thumbs up, but she's
sorry,
nodding.
I went to the wrong tab.
tab.
Okay, I'll email them and ask what's up, because it's been over 6 weeks by now. Thanks for letting me know.
Kim, did you have anything else? Okay. So I'm the next would be our 15-minute break. It's we've been rolling pretty fast. It's only 7 o'clock. I'd be fine with just skipping that this time.
As would I.
Okay. All right. So, next on our list is our board projects. The first one is our bylaw revision. I've still kind of been working with Ashley on this as much as we can, although it's kind of out of my boat at this moment as far as experience. And she has also hit a wall as far as our experience. She has reached out to a few more people who are much more experienced in the legalities of writing and maintaining writing and maintaining the bylaws. We're looking to hear back from them on when they may be able to sit down with us and go over things. We're still looking at some of the notes from last month's meeting that were brought up in chat, and when we read them out, that we're still kind of not sure with. So that's kind of where we're sitting on that. Kind of waiting on an answer before we can roll forward, because we don't want to. We're trying to eliminate as many loopholes or anything that can kind of get us stuck, like we kind of got backed into a corner with the president position having to be voted on. Did anybody, as a reminder, with that, anybody is open to reach out to us with any comments, questions. If they want to be part of it, they don't have to just be on the board. Anybody in the audience, you're more than welcome to participate with this. We want to make sure everybody's got input. I know we've said that a couple of times. We still haven't gotten any input from anybody else. Just email us at the board and we can get that. We can get you looped in on that. Otherwise, it's looking like nobody else has having any questions about the bylaws in the chat. Anybody at the board level have any questions? Okay. And that brings us down to our last two projects, the 5-year plan and the recording proposal, which had been pushed back previously due to the bylaws not being completed. So at this point, it'd probably be best to push those back a couple of more months. Probably October, at least, get those to have those discussed. Because it's gonna take us at least a few weeks. And that actually is all that was on the list for this evening's meeting. That was short. Does anybody have any other questions? Does anybody want to drag this on? But no, if anybody does have any questions here or in chat, please let us know. Otherwise, you can reach us. Our emails are always our first name, our last name at animetwincities.org, or board or ATC board at animetwincities.org. You can reach us through those with any questions at pretty much any time, and we'll get back to you as soon as we are able. I'm just reading the chat on YouTube. Oh, God. See, my beard is so big. It's so fluffy. It's like... So, all right then. Unless anybody else has anything, I'm gonna call the meeting. Call to adjourn the meeting. Anybody second?
I have nothing further. I'm second.
All right. You can go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much, everybody. We look forward to seeing and hearing from you next month. Second Tuesday, 6:30. We'll be getting things up a little bit more often. Please do keep an eye out for the various posts for the coordinator positions if you are interested. Again, if you have any questions for us about those, feel free to email us and let us know. Thank you very much.
Gaming on the Discord this Thursday. If people want to help us test stuff out.
Yes. What time?
What time?
It's either 6:30 or 7.
Okay.
This time, since that's when I'm off of work. So
We'll assume 6:30, and if we end up being late for it, 6:30 is early enough.
Okay. It's out on the ATC page. So.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, everybody. Y'all have a great night.